Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 051 Kiddo. Now, 051 Kiddo is a Chicago drill rapper who really had things set ablaze last summer, man. He was catching a lot of headlines and doing a lot of interviews because of his way of being like that throwback to the old Chicago drill rappers, man. Dude was really hitting the ground running after he came out of prison, man. He did like 10 years in prison, had interactions with other rappers like Hard Body Lodox, with cellmates with King Von. Dude had a heck of a story. That's why I sat down and talked to him about it, right? But with all that being said, 051 Kiddo was a wild dude in them streets allegedly. And it seems like all that activity and a lot of the things that he was allegedly doing in the streets have come back to haunt him because he was recently arrested, man. Now, there's already been speculation about people getting at him since he's been locked up. But before we talk about all that, let's actually look at the case, or at least look at his booking information. So let's check this out. Okay, so this is 051 Kiddo's booking information. And it looks like, man, he's looking at several different charges. What we got, like 4 different charges listed here? But let's actually bring it in a little bit so you guys can see that a little bit closer and we can talk about each of these charges and what's going on one by one, right? All right, so as you see here, this is straight from the same booking information, and it basically lists that he's awaiting bond or court appearance, and currently there's no bond amount for 051 Kiddo. And it looks like he was arrested on February 8th at 8:21 a.m. It looks like it was a nighttime operation. Obviously, they had been looking at 051 Kiddo when we get to the story and the information that the Kankakee County put out, because Kankakee is a suburb county of Chicago, and basically it's one of those border towns of the city of Chicago. Some people include it when they talk about Chicago because you have reputable artists from Kankakee like Duty Low and others like that, right? Well, 051 Kiddo ended up being in Kankakee for some reason. I'm not sure if he was staying there, if he was just hanging out there, but he was obviously there with several other people who were also arrested, man. Now, let's actually look at what he was arrested for, the charges, man. So let's check this out. Okay, so these are the 4 charges that he's looking at. Armed habitual criminal, possession of a stolen firearm, warrant, IDOC, and possession of a firearm, land gang member. You know what I mean? So basically, he's got a gang charge on top of the other 3 charges, one including a warrant. I guess that's why they surprised him. He might have had a warrant out for his arrest, but what's weird is we just sat down for an interview and we were talking about the fact that he was happy about actually being off parole. So let's actually look at that clip next. Right? But now you're on parole. How much longer do you have on parole?
A couple more months.
Okay, so a couple more months and you're basically a free man, right? I mean, at that point, are you free?
Yeah, I'm be off parole, yeah. You free.
Nice, man. So when you get off parole, what is the very first thing you think about doing, man?
Going overseas.
Nice. Now, when you say overseas, where are you talking about going? You talking about Europe? You talking about Africa? You talking about Asia? Or all that?
I don't know yet. But I know a lot of me overseas, though.
Okay, so as you heard in that clip, that he was enthusiastic about the opportunity to be off of parole finally, basically being a free man and being able to go overseas and do things of that nature, man. It looked like the future was bright for him as long as he stayed out of any trouble and didn't get involved in any of this street stuff, man, get caught back up in the streets. Well, it looks like 2 of those things might have actually happened, because we'll talk about this later. There's a guy already saying that he got at Kiddo. Now, I must say this about 051 Kiddo, man. He has been one of the most controversial figures in Chicago drill rap. This isn't just like your regular no-name drill rapper going to jail that nobody kind of knows. He might have 300,000, 400,000 on some song or video, or a couple of songs and videos or whatnot, but he's not really that well known and he's not getting a lot of publicity. 051 Kiddo has been on the biggest platforms in hip-hop media, And dude has really been putting on for the city of Chicago and for his side of things, man. And it's been controversial, and he had a moment there where him and J-Man did a video, and it looked like, man, he was going in a better direction, but there was always still that edge. There was always still the dissing. There was always still that old school Chicago drill rap type of disrespect, and he kept it online, man. There's several videos and clips of him dissing dead rappers and people like King Von or whatnot. So like I said, dude was very controversial. So you knew that this could end badly. Even he had laughed when it was brought up in interviews and stuff about people putting money, betting that things would end up for him badly. Not many people thought of the possibility that 051 Kiddo could be going back to jail potentially, man. And it's looking like he's looking at a lot of serious charges. So, man, let's actually look at what the sheriff's office in Kankakee put out about 051 Kiddo and the arrest. You know what I mean? And like I said, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But, man, let's check this out anyway. Okay, so you see this document right here from the sheriff, Kankakee County. It says for immediate release, 4 arrested in Kankakee County on multiple weapons charges. Now you see here, this was put out on February the 9th of this same year, 2024, right? And it goes on to say that in Kankakee, Illinois, yesterday morning, agents from the Illinois Department of Corrections Parole Division, KMEG, Kankakee Police, POP unit, and the Kankakee County Sheriff's Office conducted parole compliance checks on 4 subjects at 3 different locations within Kankakee County. So they were looking for people who are on parole. So that would be 051 Kiddo. He was looking at the possibility of being off parole and was happy about the subject, but it looks like they were doing some sort of checks just to make sure that they were, living up to code, I'm saying, or staying out of any type of trouble, or possibly don't have any weapons or anything like that on them, man. Now, 3 adults and 1 juvenile were taken into custody on numerous gun charges. So as you can see, they were going to different residents and checking to see if somebody on parole was at that residence. And when they go into the residence, checking to see if there's any weapons, any drugs, anything in there, right? And it looks like the first 2 locations, they found some other people. But let's get to the good part where they're talking about 051 Kiddo, right? Now, this is where they talk about Kiddo. A 3rd location in Borambis was checked, and Lovell Adams, a 28-year-old male, was arrested for 3 counts of felon in possession of a firearm. Now, it continues by saying possession of a firearm by a gang member, aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, and 1 count of possession of a stolen firearm. So it looks like those are the 4 charges that he was looking at, man. Being a gang member, allegedly, having a weapon, and aggravated unlawful use of a weapon, and 1 count of possession of a stolen firearm, man. So it's looking bad for 051 Kiddo out here. I ain't gonna lie, man. Those are some very serious charges, especially for somebody who's been convicted as a felon. Like, I wish the best for him, man, but this is crazy. Now, it also says he was taken to Jerome Combs Detention Center after 3 loaded handguns were located inside the residence, one of them being stolen. Now, I hate to go here, but with these checks, I think they already know there's some weapons in those houses, or have a suspicion that there's some weapons in those houses before they do these checks. I'm pretty sure. I just feel like that, man. Like, this can't be just at random that this happened and he had these weapons on him, man. They probably thought that there was a chance he had these weapons, and I'm not saying that he's guilty by any means, or that those weapons were his, or this is or 05 Kiddo, 051 Kiddo is guilty in any way. But it just seems like it's a possibility. Maybe they had some tips. Somebody left a tip that there might be a weapon in there. Somebody else might have left it in there. Or there's some sort of information that they're getting to get these weapons, man. It just, by chance, that all 3 locations had people who are on parole with weapons. It looks like, man, yeah, somebody might be shoving out some information here. Now, in quotes, it says, unfortunately, the Illinois Department of Corrections and the Parole Board continue to release inmates early with no regard for the safety of communities all over the state of Illinois. So this is basically coming from the sheriff, and he's kind of just making his own kind of political statement here. But regardless of that situation, man, it looks like 051 Kiddo, if found guilty of these infractions, is going to be doing a lot of time in jail. And that's probably not the best situation, because besides jail, he could be going to prison, right? Now, if he goes to prison, he's said a lot of things on social media. He said a lot of things in his raps. He's proclaimed a lot of stuff in interviews, and it just isn't a good look for him in that situation. And a lot of people always thought that somebody would run into 051 Kiddo in the streets, and nobody was hoping for that. But it looks like, man, somebody behind bars is already putting it out there that they ran into 051 Kiddo and got the ups on him in the prison way, meaning they got to the ones and twos and put the pause on 051 Kiddo. He could be lying. I mean, it might not be true. There's a lot of people in the comment section saying this ain't true. We need to see the video, and I'm pretty sure we can get that video sometime here soon if it's true. Now, if it's not true, we'll probably never see the video, though, and this person might be clout chasing. All right, so this comes from a very well-known page out there, Chirac Humor 2, and basically they post about Chicago drill stuff, man. Things going on in the streets with the rappers, all the things that the rappers get into, interview clips, all of those things. So you see this post from this page right here, and this looks like it was a story post, and it says this in the post: one of the guys just beat the out of Kiddo, laughing emojis, right? 4 of them. Free 60, F the other side, and shrugging emoji. Tell the blogs post that, and then number 600. So this person is obviously from 600, man. And they're saying that somebody got to 051 Kiddo and beat him up already while he's in jail. Now, we saw where he's in jail. And this is what a lot of people are saying in the comment section, that this is cap because he's in jail in Kankakee, and the guy that they're saying beat him up is actually in jail in Chicago, in Cook County jail. So it could be a rumor, man, but this guy is posting this and basically saying that 051 Kiddo got beat up already in jail. And Hardbody Lodox did talk about this in an interview one time, or recently, and basically said it, 051 Kiddo is not the biggest dude. And I'm not saying just because you're a little dude that you can't hold your own in jail. I am not saying that, because it's more about a respect thing and, being able to fight. It's a lot that goes into that. It's not about size, really. But for people that he might have an issue with, man, it could be a long prison sentence, man, or a long jail stint if he doesn't get out of there. And especially if Cats is already jumping on him, you know what I mean? But we'll see, because he's obviously from something that he claims as a family or whatnot, never claimed it was a gang, and basically says that, they hold each other down. So we'll see if that's true as well, man. But this is an interesting situation. What do y'all think? Is this guy clout chasing, or do you think that somebody already got on 051 Kiddo and already tried to put the pause on him while he's in jail because of all the stuff he's been talking about in these streets, man? And what do you think about his case going forward in the future, man? Do you think it's a possibility that 051 Kiddo will make it back to the streets without having to deal with the ramifications of any of these charges that are being levied against him? Or is it a possibility this might be it for 051 Kiddo? It was a good run while it lasted, but at this situation, it looks like he might have crashed out. Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.